Y'all, she unleashed everything. And the second it dropped, the entire Bravo universe didn't just pause, it imploded. What erupted on Kayla Tucker's late-night IG live wasn't shade, wasn't a breakdown, wasn't some sloppy midnight spiral. It was an explosion. A ruthless, unfiltered, soul-splitting revelation that ripped open truths everyone assumed would stay buried in the dark forever. Within moments of hitting live, Kayla appeared on screen with trembling fingers, swollen eyes, and a voice that carried years of hurt pressed into every syllable. Viewers expected pettiness, maybe rage, maybe a few tears. But what she delivered was straight devastation, because out of nowhere, without warning, Kayla spoke the name nobody on Earth was bracing for. T. Yes, that T.I. Chaos detonated. Comments blurred into static. People thought she slipped, until she leaned in, staring directly into the camera and whispered, "Y'all really want the truth?" Then she said it. Kandi Burruss wasn't loyal to my father. She had something going on with T.I. allegedly. And she didn't stop there. The audience went dead silent, a silence that felt like mourning right before she dropped the hit that cracked the entire internet into dust. There was an alleged pregnancy, and Todd never knew the real truth. The comments section erupted. Devices fell. Pulses spiked. Because Kayla wasn't guessing, she was bleeding out reality. Her expression, her shaking voice, her shattered breathing all held the weight of a daughter who'd watched her family rot beneath secrets she'd been forced to choke on for years. "I'm done protecting her," Kayla muttered. And with that single sentence, the entire illusion of Kandi Burruss's flawless image went up in flames. Buckle in, because what's coming isn't simple chaos. It's the kind of emotional wreckage that makes every so-called scandal on reality TV look like a child's tantrum. The internet thought it had survived storms before, but nothing, absolutely nothing, prepared anyone for the blast that ignited the moment Kayla Tucker pressed that live button. No teaser, no countdown, no warning. Just a trembling screen, a hollow late-night quiet, and a daughter finally breaking under the weight of everything she'd carried alone. She appeared with streaked makeup, unsteady breath, and eyes swollen from hours of silent collapse, the kind of crying no one performs, the kind that escapes when your chest can't contain one more truth. And the instant Kayla stared into that lens, millions felt something inside them fracture. The comments hadn't even appeared yet, but the air was already thick, as if the entire world had leaned in and held its breath. Her voice didn't tremble softly. It shattered like crystal. "I'm done covering up for her." No preamble, no explanation, no gentle lead-in. Just that line. Sharp, cold, irrevocable. A line that felt forged in years of silent pain. Then she spoke it. The name no one ever imagined leaving her lips. The name that obliterated every timeline across social media. T. It wasn't a slip. It wasn't uncertainty. She repeated it slow, measured, deliberate. Kandi and T allegedly, yes, I said it. And chaos erupted. Screenshots flew like fire. People leapt from beds. Group chats awoke from deep sleep to messages sounding alarms like sirens, because Kayla Tucker, the daughter who had stayed silent through every storyline, every reunion, every headline, was finally incinerating the silence that had held her captive. But she wasn't merely exposing gossip. She was ripping open wounds. Her breath stuttered as she leaned closer to the lens, her voice dropping into something rarer than rage, something like heartbreak that had been fermenting quietly inside her for years. "You all worship her. You all paint her as the hero, but you didn't live what I lived. You didn't hear what I heard." She wasn't dragging someone for attention. She wasn't acting for engagement. This was a daughter mourning a childhood that never once felt protected. Kayla said she remembered the secret meetups, the whispered dinners, the after-midnight calls, the polished industry excuses that always sounded just a little too rehearsed to be real. She said she was young, but even kids can feel when something is wrong. When the air changes, when lies get practiced, when someone walks in smelling like guilt instead of perfume. She didn't even flinch when she asked, was it business or was it intimacy? The live chat froze. Someone typed nah so fast the comment glitched. Another wrote, T Kandi, followed by a flood of question marks. People were shaking in front of their screens, typing so fast their phones lagged, breathing so hard their cameras fogged. But Kayla wasn't finished, because then came the sentence that turned a scandal into pure heartbreak. And yes, allegedly, there was a pregnancy. Her voice cracked. Not in some dramatic, camera-ready way. It cracked like someone reliving the exact moment their reality stopped fitting together. She wiped her face hard, almost violently, like she was trying to scrub away a memory that still wouldn't leave her alone. They told my dad it was stress. They told him she needed rest. They told him it was private. But I know the truth. I saw things. I heard things. I wasn't blind. I wasn't naive. It wasn't drama. It wasn't a rumor drop. It was a confession. A confession drenched in betrayal. She said she watched her father, Todd Tucker, move through the house thinking he had a partner at his side, unaware a storm was silently raging behind him. She said she watched him cook, pay bills, raise children, carry burdens, solve problems, all while Kandi glided through life holding secrets she never intended to reveal. And the more she spoke, the more her tone shifted from sorrow to a searing fury. A fury that felt trapped inside her chest for years, ready to explode. You all ask why I don't call her my mom, why I don't smile for her, why I don't play the role reality TV demands. It's because she disrespected my father, again and again, relentlessly. And when things were happening with T, allegedly, my dad didn't exist. He was just background noise. Her words weren't messy. They were razor sharp, like she'd waited her entire life for a moment when the truth could finally escape without punishment. Then she said something nobody expected. Do you know what it's like being a kid? Watching your stepmom grow close to someone who isn't your dad? Feeling the energy shift, seeing lies stack up, witnessing the person you love treated like they don't matter. No one commented. No one laughed. No one breathed. The screen hung heavier than grief. Kayla said she spent years branded as the problem child, the ungrateful daughter, the jealous girl, all while holding secrets that could have shattered families. And you know the worst part? She asked, her voice trembling. They expected me to smile, stay silent, protect her, protect the brand, protect the image. She lifted her hand, trembling, brushing her cheek once more. I'm done protecting her. Her jaw tightened in a way that made viewers' stomachs knot. And if Kandi has an issue with what I'm saying tonight, she can go live herself and deny it. That line didn't just end the broadcast, it severed the night in two. The screen went dark. The comments erupted. People shouted in their living rooms. Hashtags began trending. Bloggers jumped from beds like alarms had pierced the air. Clips started spreading within seconds, and every platform, TikTok, X, Reddit, YouTube, echoed the same sentence like a siren ripping through the night. Kayla Tucker exposes Kandi Burruss' alleged affair with T.I. Alleged secret pregnancy. Years of betrayal. This wasn't gossip anymore. This wasn't tea. This was a family unraveling in front of millions. The kind of raw, catastrophic truth no PR team or confessional could ever produce. It came from a daughter finally refusing to bear the weight of everyone else's lies. The moment Kayla's live ended, the internet didn't quiet. It exploded harder. Phones buzzed nonstop. Group chats detonated. Bloggers awoke as if electricity had coursed through their veins. Within minutes, the entire Bravo universe looked struck by lightning. But beneath the chaos, beneath the screaming tweets and viral comments, something far darker was unfolding. Something no fan, no blogger, no gossip page had braced for. Because what began as a late-night meltdown was becoming a public reckoning. People replayed the live in slow motion, zooming in on Kayla's face, studying every tear, every gasp, every pause. And the more they watched, the more it became clear she wasn't just furious, she was breaking. This wasn't a girl lashing out. This was a woman suffocating under secrets that never should have been hers. And the deeper the internet dug, the more horrifying the picture grew. Clips began circulating where Kayla murmured things barely audible the first time. Words that carried years of swallowed pain. Lines like, "Nobody protected me and he deserved better." And the one that froze the entire timeline, "She thought I was too young to understand." Those 6 words sent chills through the Bravo universe, because it wasn't just betrayal, it was betrayal seen through a child's eyes. Viewers typed frantically, "She wasn't acting. She's carried this for years." This girl saw it all. The online energy shifted from shock, to grief, to pure rage. And while the world spun out of control, Todd Tucker remained silent, a quiet heavier than anything else. Fans refreshed his page endlessly, waiting for a statement, a single word, a hint of reality. But there was nothing. No post, no story, no like, just emptiness, as if he didn't even recognize which version of his life was real anymore. Meanwhile, rumors spread that the live wasn't Kayla's breaking point. It was the aftermath of something far bigger, far more devastating. Some said she confronted someone before going live. Others claimed she uncovered something, a message, a photo, a memory she thought was buried, but it came crashing back. No one knew for sure, yet everyone sensed a catastrophe had erupted before she pressed that button. And as the clips went viral, more layers of truth began to peel away. One viewer slowed the clip down and highlighted the moment Kayla's eyes shifted when she said, "late night calls." Another noticed the tremor in her jaw when she said, "intimacy." Someone else isolated the instant her voice cracked on the word pregnancy, proving it wasn't staged. It was the sound of truth tearing its way out. Comment sections filled with lines like, "This is deeper than cheating. She's traumatized. There's more she isn't saying. This feels like a confession she didn't want to make." Every replay made the room feel colder. Because the tragedy wasn't just what allegedly happened between Kandi and T. The tragedy was the child standing in the corner of that chaos, watching adults destroy themselves without realizing she was inhaling the smoke. Kayla's pain became the center of a storm no one could escape. People asked, where was Kandi? Where was Todd? Why wasn't anyone beside her? Why did she have to cry in front of millions instead of in front of a parent who should have held her before she broke? Why was a girl raised on reality TV now collapsing under a reality she never asked for? Blogs posted timelines, fans speculated, critics dissected every frame, but the most haunting part wasn't the frenzy online. It was the silence from the people who mattered. Then the story grew darker because a new clip emerged, one not yet viral. A viewer who screen recorded the live posted a tiny, barely noticeable moment. Kayla reaching off screen for something. Zooming in revealed a piece of paper, crumpled and folded in half, as if she had been clutching it for hours. She never read it. She never showed it. But the way she held it, like it burned, made the internet erupt again. Some said it was a letter. Some said it was proof. Some said it was something she couldn't voice aloud. The theory spreading like wildfire was brutal. Kayla didn't go live to expose Kandi. She went live because staying silent had become unbearable, like dying. The weight of that idea hit viewers like a fist to the chest. People stitched videos crying, saying she didn't deserve this. Others finally understood the coldness between Kayla and Kandi on the show. Not jealousy, not attitude, but wounds. Old wounds. Deep wounds. Wounds formed long before cameras ever arrived. And then the most chilling moment occurred. Someone clipped the final seconds before the live cut, a detail no one had noticed the first time. Kayla leaned forward, eyes swollen, voice shredded, and whispered something so faint viewers had to amplify the audio to hear it. He loved her. It wasn't clear who she meant. Todd? Someone else? But the way she said it, like it was the final fragment of truth she could no longer contain, made the internet collectively shudder in heartbreak. Because this wasn't just scandal. This wasn't just gossip. This was a family crumbling in slow motion. Not on camera, but in shadows, in memories, in quiet corners where children grasp the truth before they're old enough to process it. And still, there was no statement from Kandi. No denial, no post, no clarification. Her silence screamed louder than Kayla's outburst. People began tagging Bravo, demanding explanations. Others insisted this was bigger than a storyline. Some begged Kayla to return live, to finish what she started, to reveal everything she couldn't say the night before. But the darkest part? The live wasn't a finale. It felt like an opening argument, the start of something far more explosive, far more tragic, far more permanent. Because Kayla Tucker didn't just expose secrets. She revealed the ruins of a home built on fractures everyone pretended not to see. And now the world was watching those fractures split open, breath by breath. The hours after Kayla's live felt like the world had been torn in half. No one slept. No one looked away. Every blogger, podcaster, and gossip page went into overdrive. Yet amidst all the chaos, one truth stood out. This wasn't a scandal anymore. It was a slow-motion collapse. A collapse that had been brewing for years, waiting for the one person courageous enough to shatter the silence. By sunrise, the internet wasn't asking about the live. It was asking about what came before it. What pushed her to this point? What memory sparked tears that wouldn't stop? What truth was so unbearable it forced her to speak words that would change families forever? And as people replayed the video over and over, they began noticing something that had slipped past them the night before. Something hauntingly human. It wasn't just what Kayla said, it was how she said it. The pauses that seemed like she was wrestling ghosts. The tremors in her voice as she tried to swallow emotions that refused to stay buried. The shadows under her eyes weren't exhaustion, they were grief. Grief carried too long. Grief buried too deep. Grief that finally clawed its way to the surface. Then came the moment that threw the fandom into panic. A leaked audio clip, shaky, muffled, recorded by someone capturing the live from another device. In the background, just before the stream ended, there was a sound no one had noticed the first time. A small, broken, almost childlike whimper. Not anger, not a tantrum, but someone abandoned. That changed everything. Suddenly, this wasn't a girl attacking a famous stepmother. This was a daughter screaming for someone to finally hear her. Meanwhile, tabloids dug deeper into the past, resurfacing old interviews, old episodes, old paparazzi shots, old social media posts where Kayla stood 3 steps behind everyone, arms crossed, face closed, eyes hollow. Every clip that once seemed like attitude now appeared as a warning no one cared to read. People began saying the most chilling thing imaginable. She's been hurting for years, and we all missed it. As the world dissected her pain, pressure mounted on Kandi Burruss. Pressure so intense it felt like a countdown echoing across every timeline. Fans demanded she go live and respond. Deny, explain, acknowledge, anything. But her silence only grew heavier by the hour. Silence can be louder than confession, louder than guilt, louder than truth. And with every hour of Kandi's quiet, Kayla's story reverberated even more. Then another clip surfaced, this one from a Bravo finale years ago. Kandi laughing with T, whispering something in his ear, both grinning like they shared a private joke. Nobody noticed before. But now, viewers studied it like detectives examining evidence. It didn't prove anything, but it didn't soothe anyone either, because the tragedy of this scandal wasn't the alleged affair. It wasn't the rumored pregnancy. It wasn't the fame, the cameras, the spectacle. It was the child trapped in the middle. A child forced to swallow reality's adults should have shielded her from. A child carrying stories meant for people twice her age. A child who learned far too early what betrayal tastes like. And as fans pieced together the timeline, a devastating theory emerged. A theory that sent chills through everyone. Kayla didn't go live to expose anyone. She went live because she felt utterly alone. This wasn't revenge. It was survival. While social media tore itself apart dissecting every word, Kayla remained silent. A silence that made the internet uneasy. People refreshed her page obsessively. Some feared for her. Others prayed she wasn't enduring even more pain off screen. Because the girl the world saw last night wasn't a villain. She was wounded. She was broken. She was drained. Then it got darker. An anonymous insider, unverified but alarmingly detailed, claimed confrontations had taken place inside the Tucker house before the live. The internet didn't know if it was true, but they believed it instantly. Not from proof, but from the way Kayla cried. That wasn't the cry of someone seeking attention. That was the cry of someone whose last lifeline had snapped. The tragedy intensified when fans noticed something else. In the background of the live, as the camera shook, a faint reflection appeared in the window behind her, what looked like a shadow moving, someone leaving the room. Some guessed Todd. Others said someone else. No one knew. But whatever it was, it made everything feel colder. Like she wasn't just crying on camera. She was crying after someone had walked away. And still, Kandi remained silent. Every hour that passed carved another wound into the fandom. People begged her for a statement, for clarity, for something to douse the wildfire. But nothing came. And her silence became its own answer, a terrifying one. Meanwhile, Kayla's name trended globally. Not because she was a reality star, not because she sought fame, but because for the first time, people were finally listening. Then came the moment that shattered everyone. A fan posted a slowed-down clip of Kayla wiping her face just before ending the live. Her lips moved silently, forming words the audio hadn't caught the first time. When enhanced, the phrase became unmistakable. I tried. 2 words heavier than accusations. 2 words heavier than secrets. 2 words that felt like the final breath of someone who had carried too many truths for too long. This wasn't scandal anymore. This was tragedy. A tragedy built on years of silence, years of pretending, years of performing a perfect family that never existed behind closed doors. And as the world waited breathless, terrified, desperate for the next chapter, one thing became painfully clear. Kayla Tucker didn't just expose a rumor. She exposed the emotional wreckage that doesn't heal in a single night. She exposed the truth that sometimes the darkest secrets aren't about affairs, pregnancies, or fame. They're about the pain of the child forced to watch it all unfold from the shadows. And now that she's spoken, now that she's finally shattered the silence the adults built, the world can never unhear her words. This story doesn't end here. Pretending it does would be the biggest lie of all. What Kayla Tucker unleashed wasn't chaos. It was the first crack in a wall hiding far too much for far too long. And now that the truth has slipped out, there's no way to shove it back into the shadows. Every tear she shed, every word she forced from her lips, every tremble in her voice is echoing across millions of screens tonight. And the silence from the people who should have spoken is becoming its own confession. You felt it. I felt it. The world felt it. A daughter shattered on live because the adults around her refused to bear the weight they created. And here's the part nobody wants to admit. Stories like this don't fade on their own. They either get buried by power or amplified by those who refuse to look away. You've seen enough scandals to know which way this one is headed. When allegations involve fame, betrayal, family, and pain, either the truth rises or it is drowned. And right now, the only barrier between Kayla's truth and silence is you. The viewers, the witnesses, the ones who hurt her, the ones who saw her break. So don't let this vanish into the background noise of another celebrity scandal. Don't let her pain be swept under a press release or polished apology. Share the story. Spread the clips. Keep the conversation alive. Demand answers from the voices that stayed silent while she cried alone. Because if the world looks away now, the people who hurt her return to comfort while she sits with the wreckage. If you believe her pain mattered, prove it. If her truth shook you, show it. Hit like, drop your thoughts, and share everywhere. Let them know the world is watching.